Welcome to the Great British Pinball Podcast, and here are your hosts Scott Rundell and Neil McRae.
Oh my God, we're back.
We're alive.
We're alive. Happy New Year, Scott.
He's laughing about that off air before. Yeah, Happy New Year, Neil.
So apologies. Both Scott and I have had a lot going on and just trying to, and actually, to be fair, the last time we were supposed to record this a week ago and I completely forgot about it.
Apologies. Best friends, you know.
The good news is loads of people asking me, Neil, when you do the next podcast? So Pinball at the Beach, which I'll talk about later, lots of people say, when's the next podcast coming out? Neil, we thought you would have done one. I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to stay awake right now. Because a lot's going on. Scott, tell me what you've been doing pinball-wise for the last month.
Racking my head on why I'm doing another CPR playfield, if I'm honest with you. I fucking hate them. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, there's so much negativity about them.
And they're no longer making playfields, thank God. It's like...
Well, there's a controversial start to the podcast, and it wasn't me
coming out swinging, you know. But yeah, look, I cannot. I sat there right on this Elvira and the Pie Monsters, going, why are the people so fucking far out? Like, if I followed them, right, there's a part where you have a bank of targets. If I followed them, the target would be in the wood. It was so far out that it wouldn't even be in the hole, like, let alone the wood. It was like, it's so dumb. It was just like, I cannot work with this. And I ended up just like getting tracing paper out and diligently then taking from the old playfield the markings and turning the underside into Swiss cheese to correct all the incorrect pilot holes.
This is why I give my work to other people. I just wouldn't have the patience for bullshit like that. I'd end up setting fire.
I'll be honest with you, man, and much to everyone's probably fucking cheer and joy, I can't be bothered to do this anymore. I think this will be my last one. I just can't be bothered. It's just like, I'm losing the joy from it. It kills me. I haven't played pinball, if I'm honest with you, all this year. I haven't played any, because all I'm doing is if I'm not doing my work, I'm doing the playfield restoration, or let's call it pinball machine restoration. And if I'm not doing that, I'm looking after the little one. So it's just like, yeah, I'll have to sack it in, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I say that, I'll probably end up getting someone saying, oh yeah, you'll pay you this and you'll do it. And then I'll be like, shut up, I'll take your money then. But I just at the moment, I'm just drawn out on it. I just can't be bothered anymore. It's just, I feel like, I'll give you why. I'm having a whinge now. You set me off, but I got a fucking washing machine was playing up, and had the engineer over, and they paid me 300 quid to just come in and fix it. And I'm like, here I am working on chump change for hundreds of hours on restoring the game, and I have people whinging at me about my costs. I mean, this guy showed up for 5 minutes and got 300 quid.
300 quid, mate. You could buy a fucking new washing machine for 300 quid.
Well, to be fair, I had a Miele. I know for worse, those things cost a fortune.
Actually, I've got a Miele.
Oh, you know, as it is. But yeah, no. Long story short, my wife used to work at Miele, and she got us a good discount when we got it. But I just didn't want to see it go, because to replace it for would have been $1,000. So I was like,
no, I've got AEG, which is in the same.
There you go.
The same space.
The lowly pauper has the AEG.
It's great because when I'm flying on a plane, it pings up on my phone to say that the washing is done, and then I forward it as a text message to my wife as a way of amusing myself.
I wouldn't do that. I'd never be brave enough to do that.
I've done it twice, and that was the all my clothes chucked at me afterwards was enough. Anyway, I wish I deserved entirely. I mean, I hear what you're saying though. By the way, pinball being a fun thing versus a labor of love.
Yeah.
Where is that labor of love on the line before you think, fuck it, I'm out?
No, it's a thankless task, I bet. I don't know, I wouldn't do it.
So I got bits of pinball gear lying in my shed that have been there since the last UK Open that I just haven't had time to deal with.
I had the same thing. I had people messaging me going, how's your homebrew going? I was like, if I could just get rid of it now, I would have already. But I can't be bothered with it. I've got no time for it. And it's like, I'm like you, the work-life balance is getting really difficult at the moment. I think
I think it is for a lot. I think it is for a lot of people. But the thing is, so I got to tournaments. I'm actually, the reason you can't see my normal background is I'm just outside San Diego and I'm going to Indisc, right? I'm going to play awful at Indisc because, and the last 3 tournaments, in fact, more than that, last 4 or 5, I've played awful because I haven't played any pinball except when I turn up to the event.
So you're going in cold. Yeah, that's
I have to practice. I'm thinking to myself, actually, maybe I should just become one of the people that just gets to play day and night, turns up and plays well at a gig and goes home. You know what I mean? And I genuinely feel that way right now. Now, in the fullness of time, once I've got over this, I hate making decisions based on what just happened. I like to think about it.
You got to reflect on it. Yeah.
And we'll see how these next few events go. But I give another example, right? There's a thing called Swavesey, the Swavesey Pinball Show, right? That Mark Squires, who's a superstar. I love Mark, right? He's organised it for the last 100 years, right? And it's great fun. It's a social event with a bit of pinball, right? And we've loved it. Now, last year, he told everybody he wasn't going to run it again. And you know, I can respect that. You've got other things going on in your life. It's not a focus for you. And I chatted to him and said, Mark, look, if you don't want to run it, there's other people that want to run it. And he was like, well, you know, okay. I said, because I really like this event because you just sit back, have a few beers, play a little pinball. It's not like a tournament where I'm running around like a blue-arsed idiot trying to make everything work.
Yeah.
You know, the community just does it, and it's phenomenal. And when he said he wasn't going to run it, a few of us had a chat, and we decided, actually, okay, if Mark doesn't want to run it, we'll run it. Which is what I kind of said to him last year. So I phone up the pub and say, hey, you know, you've been doing this event, and now, you know, Mark's not wanting to do anymore, but we're keen to keep running it. Pub's like, we'd love you to come. You know, because pubs are struggling right now. You know, they're finding it hard. I wanted to announce it so people get it in their diaries, but you know, the conversation I had with him last year is as well. You know, someone's going to do something, and we have, and I also, and you know, and actually, you know, Mark himself, he's a legend, and we want to keep something that in the community we find valuable going. So anyway, we're gonna run it. So I've had the feedback with the usual thing in pinball. A few people who do nothing moaning. Hello, those people. Look in the mirror. You know who you are. And a few people that are like, well done, Neil. Excellent idea. I'm really happy you're doing this. I've already booked the hotel.
I don't know how you bother with it, if I'm honest with you, but maybe that's just because I'm already burnt out.
Actually, I kind of... This was a conversation because we were like fed up with the shit rain weather that we've had in the UK for the last
it's horrible.
months. I know, it's been horrific.
I literally have been trying to do this cabinet like sanding job for the last 3 weeks, but it's just like rain. It's horrible.
Yeah, and basically, again, it was just another thing. I was like, really, man? I can't, you know, we're trying to do stuff because...
Maybe I've started out this whole podcast as negative, but I think the bottom line really should be, if you're talking about a couple of things, right? So let's summarize. One, you're trying to find a work-life balance between family and work and hobby, right? I get that. It's not easy.
Yep.
I think if you're then taking on more responsibility by trying to organize other events, only because, as you say, you did it a commitment over last year, but now you're stretching yourself further, I think you have to kind of, at a point, take a step back and go, what can I actually achieve? If I'm setting my own standards and I set my own bar of what I expect from me.
Exactly.
To achieve that, you need to either go, right, I either condense what I'm doing by minimizing your scope of what you're going to take on, or you spread it out evenly to other individuals that are willing to take it on. And if no one's there to take it on, then you have to just drop it. I'm sorry to say, mate, but like that to me is better than doing something.
The club's inspired a few other clubs. So there's a new one opened up called the Pinball Machine in Birmingham. Shout out to those guys, great job. There's one in Blackpool. that Luke Wells I think it's Luke Wells has started. Shout out to him, great job. And I like to think that what we've done in at PBR has inspired those folks. If you rely upon, pinball events run because of the goodwill of the community. But you can the problem you get is where you try to extract too much of that goodwill without putting in enough of your own goodwill. But what you have to be mindful of is ensuring that everyone's putting in enough of their goodwill that makes them be valid about being involved in the first place, if that makes sense. Because what you can't have is someone effectively generating more work for everybody else by the way that they behave, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So look, you're right. And by the way, so look, I've got British Masters, I've got Swavesey, and I've got UK Open and EPC, which are all announced now. By the way, if you look on,
forget about your biggest role, man.
What's that?
Stallball.
What? Stallball? Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, Stallball's easy, man.
Yeah, but it is refreshing to see you're going to be doing it again. I mean, no offense.
Mate, I have had so many messages about that. It's like, oh fucking hell, McCree, I'm coming again because I'm running Stallball. So yeah, we're going to have a bit of fun with that. And fair play to Phil.
Does that mean that you two are now best friends again?
No one ever claims to be my friend, Scott. Not even you.
Is that right?
Not even you. No, I mean seriously. Look, Phil reached out to me. I was kind of surprised by it, but Phil and I had a great time because where my games were, he was out at the front, I was out there, and we were chatting a lot. And I certainly felt, he's had a few things going on in his life, as we all do.
Yeah.
And I think there was a coming, and actually, fair play to Tony as well. But I think there was a kind of a plug-in of thinking that where I think both of us would say we didn't exactly perform at our best through that dark time. But look, I'm up for Stall Ball. I'm bringing a ton of games, and the Shadow is back. That's all you need to know. The Shadow is back for Stall Ball. To be
fair, it is a good game for Stall Ball.
Yeah, it's the best game. It really is the best game. I wish we could do the barrel ball on the Shadow, but anyway, that would be
quite a lot of coding, but someone could probably do it.
Someone would probably do it. But so yeah, I mean, look, and so I mean, this is the thing, right? Pinball community works because the community, people in the community, put stuff in. There are some amazing people in this community. Phil's one of them. That puts tons of effort in. There's a bunch of others that run events and do stuff and help people out, and it's a great gang, and just I think my message is basically self-awareness. What is it you're doing that's contributing positively or negatively, and what could you do different? I think is where I want to go. And moving from that event to another event. So I got new games. The Walking Dead Remastered arrived at my house.
Yeah,
it's glorious. Sadly, and actually I was warned this might be the case. There's not a lot of new stuff in it code wise yet, but boy does it play nice. Fucking hell, it plays really nice. Very impressed with how it plays.
How does a Walking Dead can play anyway?
No. Maybe if you're not good at pinball, Scott. But no, I'm one of those people. I'm no longer good at. I was never brilliant at pinball, but
I still hate those pops, man. Like that was Great Central.
They've fixed that a little bit. One thing they have fixed is the ramp, though. That shot is it's like butter now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I got that.
Have you done anything with the animations yet? Because I remember
They've done, yeah.
Have they done a part where you can now switch between DMD art and CGI art, or they're still?
Yeah, so I was told that the licensor hasn't yet signed off on that, but they think they will. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, because it kind of makes sense where you had such a loss of real estate.
Yeah, I think they fixed a lot of that as well, though. It's like, I think there's cut scenes where it's widescreen, and then it goes back to the kind of scoreboard bit where it's kind of split. I think they've got plans for that, and some of the some of the plans they've got that have been, Stan have kind enough to share them with me are looking pretty good. I'm excited about it. It's my favourite game. I got the topper as well. It's bizarre. Actually, I got the topper before I got the game.
Oh, really?
It was a first ever. So yeah, and then I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Well, not a lot. I played a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons over the Christmas break.
Has that got better on the code now?
Yeah, I really think I personally think the game shoots really well. I know not everybody thinks that. I think if you had space for one game and you could only afford it, one game, and you'd have to keep it for a year, I would put that game quite high up on the list to get, because there is so much to do on it, and also it's hard. What I've started to realize is that the game changes when they respin the seat, and the changes are quite different, more different than I would expect them to be. And I think it's quite cool that they've made a game. The game's huge. I think you could own that game for 5 years and still not see half of it. So I kind of like it. They still haven't got to version 1 yet, unfortunately, and they've had a few bugs that were really awful.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
some real howlers that I don't know. I don't know how they got past the release engineering, but it happens, right? But I think like I say, if you like how that game shoots, the code on it is great. Anyway, and then back to kind of other pinball stuff. So I went to pinball at the beach, and it was a great show. Small show. It's not like Texas. It's more, actually reminds me a bit more of Pinfest, like a Pinfest size show in Florida in a not so great hotel, I have to say.
I saw your pictures, man. I'm glad I wasn't in that hotel.
Right.
Cockroaches.
Let me come back to the story of the cockroach, because it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, so it was, and literally all the manufacturers are there. So Stern were there, Spooky, Barrels of Fun, JGP, everybody is there.
It's good.
And Jack was there, Gary Stern was
out of all the events I like to go to, I think that would be one of the ones that's high on my list, because it's just so cool to have a beach right next to the venue like that.
This is it. So I went with Mandy. We flew out. We had a week's holiday, and then we had the show. It was glorious, right?
Yeah,
the weather could have been a little bit better. A bunch of friends out there. Travis and Joe from Triple J, and a bunch of guys from the Hanger Pinball location. If you're in that part of the world, Google Hanger Pinball. They got a phenomenal location with some really, 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 really great people. We went out on a sailboat into the bay. We just had like a day on a sailboat. The weather was sunny. It was a little bit windy. But Scott, it was just the most relaxing day I've had in years. We were just shooting shit, and I dropped my hat in the ocean. They had to rescue it, and it was such a great day. Mandy loved it. Such great people. We were just talking and chatting the whole day, and it was one of the higher pinball guys that organised the boat and everything, and he paid for it, and so I paid for lunch, but as a kind of thank you for him organising the boat. But it was such a great day. I can't wait for next year on it, because we had such a lot of fun. Mandy loved every minute of it, except for the mighty cockroach. So, and the beach there is just beautiful. The sand is lovely. We were on the beach a couple of days. It was absolutely phenomenal. The hotel, so the function room where the event is brilliant. It's in this kind of weird sort of tent-like building,
right?
And it's brilliant. It's not huge. It's probably about the same. It's probably maybe a little bit bigger than the Pinfest room, but Stern literally had, I think, just about every game they've ever made there since they became Stern Pinball. But not the Stern Electronic, but since
they transported how many games then?
Oh, good question. I don't know, maybe 200.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe not even that number. Spooky had about 10 Beetlejuices, and then they had every single Spooky game ever made was there, which is quite cool to see.
Is it far for them to travel to transport all that
Spooky,
equipment?
yeah, it's miles away from them. They're in near Chicago. They're in Wisconsin.
Wow.
But I think the guy Ed Vanderveen, who organises it, is one of the guys that helped them out at TPF when they first started. So I think there's a bit of a loyalty thing there.
Okay.
Colin ran a tournament. It was a lot of fun. And again, the venue and the beach, that part of it was just was phenomenal. The hotel, I have to say, I wouldn't stay there again.
Yeah.
If you watch the videos, it comes out like it's some sort of kind of Savoy by the beach.
Is there like other hotels nearby though? I imagine there is.
Yeah. There's loads. I have to say St. Pete's, right? So this is on St. Pete's Beach, which is the far side of Florida. Me and Mandy used to go there fairly regularly years ago when we first met back in the 2000s. And it was an amazing place to visit. We loved it there. COVID and successive storms have really hurt it badly. It feels a bit run down. And then you got this place in the middle of it where this hotel, I mean, if you watch any of the YouTube videos or the brochures or the pictures, the whoever runs marketing for this hotel deserves a pay rise, because what you see there, you think, wow, this is like the Ritz, right?
Yeah.
When you arrive, it's kind of like more like Motel 6, and it is tired. Like the drawers open by themselves because the chest of drawers are so ancient. It's got a hob type grill that died in the 80s. It's all very worn. You can see they've tweaked a few things, but not enough. Like they've put modern air conditioning, which thank God actually. But it's very run down, and also for what they charge. So there was a pinball at the beach rate that was quite reasonable. But even that, for that quality hotel, was probably the top I would pay. But their normal rates are like $400-500 a night, maybe, and more for some of the rooms. And it's just not worth it. And then basically, I'm down playing. I can't remember what I was playing. I think I was playing Winchester actually, and I've got my headphones and the phone rings and I answer while I'm playing, and it's like Mandy screaming on the phone, "There's a cockroach here! There's a cockroach here!" And I'm like. And I kind of started to laugh, and I was like, she's like, oh, and I was like, I had to bail, head up to the room, and deal with this thing, and there was two of them, and it was huge, and then we found the third one, and then people were talking about it around the because you kind of know a lot of people there from the pinball community.
Sure.
And there was a lot of people at it, and then this is so I happened to be talking to a mate of mine that's he's built a few hotels in his lifetime, and he pinged me and said, I saw the Cockroach, and he's like, what'd the hotel say? I said, I haven't been to see them yet, but I'm going to go see them because there was some other fuck up going on with the bill. Anyway, he says, Neil, right? He says, here's what happened, right? If they say if he goes to me, here's what they'll do. They'll say, it's Florida, it's normal, right? That is a sack of shit, right? And I said, no, I know that because I've been to Florida hundreds of times. I've never seen a cockroach in my life, right? And then basically, it's certainly not one in a hotel that's supposed to be the level that hotel is, for sure, right? Maybe if you're sleeping in the beach or something, or you're sleeping in the.
This isn't the Ibis, is it? So.
So anyway, fast forward. I went to see them. Oh yeah, this is Florida. We expect it. I was like, we'll spray your room, and I'm like, and I kind of said this a bit loud. I think you should spray the whole hotel, because they were just palming me off, and everyone's like, all these people checking in, starting to look at me, and I was like, and I was showing them pictures of the cockroach, and. My take on this is you give them a chance to fix it, and they just didn't. So we'll be back at the show. Although probably me having to go to the hotel, they probably won't want me back. But anyway, I think I kind of feel that you got to
clarify. They didn't offer you any discount or compensation for.
They offered me free breakfast, I said thanks, but I don't think my wife would want to eat in this hotel anymore.
Mm.
That was true, and actually, here's the thing: the following day, so Mandy gets these brutal migraine headaches. She got a migraine. She's convinced it was because she got freaked out by this thing, and it was in the shower. It really stressed her out.
Yeah.
And so the last day she didn't come out. She was stuck in the hotel room because she had this killer migraine headache she couldn't get rid of. But might be not related, but she was pretty convinced. And I mean, the day before, if this had been at the start of the holiday, we would have checked out, no question about it.
Sure.
Luckily, it was the last day. We were checking the next day, and I said, like, if you want to check out, there's a Hilton down the road. We'll go to the Hilton. Anyway, a lot of other people were talking about it. I think a lot of people will go to a different hotel and just walk to the event, and actually there was an amazing steak place just next door to the hotel, absolutely stunning. We went there. The place was rammed, and the food was phenomenal. That's why I love going to America. But yeah, so I played Beetlejuice.
Yep.
I'm going to say one thing. This will be an unpopular opinion. The topper is the most hideous thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
You're not a Beetlejuice fan, so you probably don't know why it's so scary and ugly looking, because it's meant to be scary and ugly looking.
Hey, it's not. It's why anyone would want that in their home. Is beyond. It is absolutely freaking awful looking. It's well built. Don't get me wrong. It's well built, but
sure.
And it's huge. I mean, it's massive. People say it's the same height as Evil Dead.
I'll tell you what I'm interested to know, right? And maybe you'll be able to answer this based on Evil Dead. Would you be able to ever fold the back box down with the topper on, or would you have to take the topper off?
I'm convinced you'd have to take it off, based on what I saw.
That is the problem with these over-the-top toppers, isn't it? It's like they're not...
Evil Dead, you have to take it off. You can't leave it on with Evil Dead. It just weighs too much.
Is it easy to remove?
Yeah, Evil Dead. If you fold the top down Evil Dead, you cannot keep the topper on.
Yeah, but can you take it out easily to uncouple it from the...
So on Evil Dead, there's 3 or 4 cables, and then there's 2 wing nuts, spin off.
Crazy then.
The hard part is putting it back on, because Evil Dead, the topper's got all this hair on it, and it kind of gets in the way of finding where the hole is.
Right. And we don't have that problem.
No, we definitely don't. So anyway, the thing that
We'll go back to Beetlejuice. Go on. Tell me what you thought of the game. You said unpopular opinion, topper's ugly, but what else?
Yeah, so I mean, and look, Franchi's done if you're a Beetlejuice fan, you can't help, you're going to love what he's done with the art. It is so well presented, as he always does, frankly. And he was there and said hello, and I had a quick chat with him. And so I played the game, and actually, again, shout out to Spooky. They let me play it before the event opened, to help test them. And the game, I felt that the game was a lot of fun. It is a fan layout. I know a lot of people have challenged me on that, but it is definitely a fan layout. It feels like you're playing. For me, it felt like I was playing Attack from Mars, and they just moved the spaceship to the side. And that, to me, that's a good thing. I kind of see this as a modern day Attack from Mars, from a shots point of view. The one thing that I actually forgot it was there more than I remembered, but then I went back to really have a go with that. The upper flipper seems a bit superfluous. And I'm not saying this as a criticism, but it kind of feels like they had a spot to stick something, so they stuck a flipper there. And the kind of shots that it hits are not, they're not.
What shots does it hit at the moment?
Well, I'm trying to remember. There's a couple of stand-ups that it hits. I think there might be a drop target. I can't remember. But what it's not is like a third flipper where you've got like a fan of shots. It's just not that. At least, or at least I couldn't see anything else other than that. it's not that it's bad or it's there, so it's there, but it just didn't feel like. It kind of feels like the extra flipper finger on the sling on Evil Dead, which is, I'll be honest with you, it's a bit of a gimmick on Evil Dead.
Sure.
I never ever use it.
I think what always threw me off with Evil Dead is you expect it to bounce. Do you know what I mean? Like to kick it, and then if you're not used to it, and then
I mean, I have to say, I was looking at it and thinking, I wonder if I could put a sling in there, take it out, and put a regular sling on it, because I actually think that would
we could. Yeah.
I think it would make the game better, genuinely. So, what else about Beetlejuice? I mean, like I said, the art's beautiful. The video on the back seems great. It's got the Deo mode where everything's dancing and singing. And the challenge with that is that when the sofa where the ball lock goes moves around, so you probably can't jack this game up too high, because I think that will stop working, or you'd have to turn it off. The Deo mode with the song going it's definitely a moment. It's fun. The other, I mean, the code's obviously super early. They've got a lot done. There's a couple of really nice shots on it. I think the orbit shots are really great on this game. There's one where it kind of goes all the way around and then comes to your flipper and then you whack it to hit the Polaroid camera. I felt that was a super satisfying shot. I really liked that. The rest of the shots feel like, to me, I genuinely felt like AFM. Even the monster thing that moves around.
That's not necessarily a bad thing anyway, but as you say.
I think it's a good thing. And I mean, this other thing, and Spooky did say this, the game was super easy to play. I mean, I had almost an hour on ball one.
Yeah, it's crazy when you told me that. I was like, wow, that's a long time.
I kind of gave up because the people behind me were been waiting for so long. I didn't play balls 2 and 3. I think I put, I don't know, 600 million on it. I can't remember. I enjoy playing it. I mean, so I haven't got one. I know everyone in the world thinks I've bought one from Stefan, right?
They did, yeah.
I have not bought one from Stefan. Phone him up and ask him, right? He had one, and then the price was like, you're having a laugh. So I didn't buy it from him, but I am looking for one. I've got.
Did you see how the kineticist quoted me in for the Dutch Pinball news, that they said that they're still making Back to the Future, but it was like a misquote anyway. Because I forget who responded to me.
Mel's probably made the most sensible choice he could have made, which is to leave them and go do something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's out, and I've got a lot of time for him. He's probably the only person in Dutch Pinball. I don't know him that well, to be fair, but he definitely felt more customer focused than the rest of them. So I spoke to him a few times at different gigs. I asked him to jack the back up so I could have a proper game of it, and he did.
I'm still amazed. The rumor was going to be that obviously Stern, which was incorrect, obviously, but Stern was going to partner with Dutch now to make Back to the Future, which is obviously wrong. But yeah. I'm more interested to know that they're still doing Back to the Future. I mean, I'm just like...
So they have the license, but there's 4 parts to the license. Well, in my view, there's 4 things you need for the license. I think they've got 2 of them. I think they still lack the other 2. So they've got the movie rights. I think included in that is the audio rights, but I'm not sure. So I'm not convinced that includes Huey Lewis in the news. So actually, there's 5 things I think they need. So I think they've got the movie rights that includes the soundtrack, all that shit, and the Libyans and all that good stuff, right? I don't think they've got Huey Lewis in the news, because I'm pretty sure he's with a different production company, so they would have to do that individually. They have DeLorean, apparently. So some company in America and Texas bought the rights to DeLorean. Apparently, Dutch Pinball have agreed those rights to have the DeLorean on the playfield. So that's the other thing that I don't believe that they have. I heard a rumor. There was a rumor bouncing around that they'd signed up Christopher Lloyd, and there was another rumor that they'd signed Michael J. Fox, but not Christopher Lloyd. I mean, if they don't have those 2,
no,
plus Biff, plus what's Marty McFly's dad? I forget his name. George.
Yeah.
Plus Marty's mum. I mean, those are core characters, and that they just have to have. Otherwise, we don't want another Predator where we have some sort of
We'll be struggling to make 300 units like a certain other company, right? But yeah,
Brazilian guy going, "Get to the chopper." And then there's one other thing that they need. It's gone out of my head. No, so it's the cast members, right?
yeah.
I know. Speaking to Joe Kamiakov, who licensed it originally for Stern or Data East as it was back then.
Yeah.
They struggled to get the rights, and actually, one of the reasons Stern didn't want to, well, as I understand it, I haven't, it's just what I've kind of heard and pieced together. Because Stern couldn't get all the rights, they didn't want to make it. But I think so. But also I think there are people in Stern that would love some of the designers that would love to have made the game.
It's interesting, because pinball now, I'd say, is a little bit more. I suppose, like we haven't spoke about it yet. We'll talk about it in a bit, but obviously Pokemon and that, you just start to realize now that big IPs are possible, and that I would have thought, given that, you'd have a better time trying to persuade those licenses that you've got this kind of like reputation for making these games, you can do it. So
yeah, no, I mean, you think that, but I think, to be honest, 90% of the time you're dealing with lawyers or agents, and then sometimes you've got to deal with a family. I know Stern put a bit of effort in trying to get Brody, and I think from what I heard, I think George said this in one of the TPF sessions, was Brody's family just weren't interested at all. And if and then you're stuck. What do you do? Oh, we're not going to make the game. I think they had enough of Brody in the movie that they got away with that. He wasn't on the playfield, kind of annoying. But the fact he was in the movies, I think, made it work. Predator, Arnie's not even on the screen.
No.
I mean, you occasionally see his boot knife and some of the other cutscenes, and
his gun, or maybe his arm.
But he's not there, right? It's a joke.
Yeah.
I think the big themes are there, but I don't think you should, I think Predator has proven, don't do a theme unless you've got it. Blues Brothers even more so. But you can do I look at Jurassic Park, where Stern had very little amount of the rights, basically. They didn't have any of the characters except Nedry. Because he didn't. So the guy who plays Nedry, I forget his name, he said, "I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want," and they did. And I think that was fine. You got people that did the movie code, which was okay. But it's like if you do it badly. I remember Guardians of the Galaxy, it got released with no music, and I'm like, where's the music? Right? That's just mad.
I remember the Cleland Code kind of sorted a lot of that out, but.
Yeah, they eventually got some music in it, Cherry Bomb and some other stuff, but it was a definite miss. So, yeah, I think these big titles are there, but I think the pinball companies have to say, look, unless we get, and I think this has happened to Stern on a couple of occasions where they got a title, they believed they would get the assets they wanted, and they didn't. And I think the last one, and I don't know this, but this is my guess, they were deep down a load of work on Indiana Jones and then killed it.
Oh, really?
I would put money on it. That was because there was some license that they just either couldn't make the business case work for, or they just couldn't get.
Or they had to release it based on a bit like Toy Story 4, if it was.
Yeah, what the hell?
Worst movie out of the entire franchise.
And had a pinball machine with no toys on it. I mean. Just
the irony, isn't it? You build a game based on toys and it.
We've put an iPad on it.
Tell you what is funny, actually. In Toy Story 5, I've noticed, I don't know if it's like the main villain or something, but they've made it so that the lily pad, which is like an iPad thing, is basically a bit of a bad guy. And I just thought that's quite funny because there's an iPad in the Toy Story pinball machine. That's quite, when you think about it.
I mean, that is like a big iPad in the back of it. So I think Beetlejuice. I mean, I couldn't hear the audio because the show, but I think those have got an order. I think they'll be happy with it. A lot of people say, Neil, Evil Dead or Beetlejuice. So cards on the table. I am a massive Evil Dead fan, right? I am not a big Beetlejuice fan, so I've got bias here, right? I'm human. I think Evil Dead. If I was to strip these games and not have any theme on them, I strongly believe Evil Dead shoots way better.
Was Evil Dead more at release date on sticker price?
No, it was less. Less,
It
I
was
think.
less.
Slightly less, yeah.
Wow.
And they made less Evil Dead, so.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I think the shots on Evil Dead, again, I think Spooky done a great job with a wide body. There's a lot of shots on it. The shots are pretty, all of them are pretty satisfying. And I kind of feel that Evil Dead, if you could only have one, I would be pitching for Evil Dead. But don't get me wrong,
No,
if you're
we've got to crack on. What about Winchester?
Winchester, so I played that in Chicago. I played it again. I mean, it's a tough game, no question about it. And when you see Carl play it, he makes it look easier. Actually, I'm going to get to play that tonight because I'm running the tournament at Ace Gogi, the best Korean barbecue on the planet, by the way. If you're ever in LA, go to Ace Gogi. It is amazing. All you can eat. It's Korean barbecue, just the business. And it's got an awesome set of games. Shane, who runs it, is a superhero. So they've got one because Carl's a buddy. He's kind of Carl's local place. I don't think he'll be there tonight though, but I'm running a tournament up there, which I'm looking forward to. It's pre-Indus tournament. So yeah, it's a tough game. The code hadn't moved much since I last played it, which was a little bit disappointing.
That's what I was going to ask you if there was like code updates, but okay.
They put a big release out. I think it must have come out just after it. I think they've done a few tweaks. It's a tough game, but I really enjoyed it. The vibe of it's just amazing. It's for me. It's like if you were to you could take the same layout, theme, etc., and they could put Luigi Mansion on it. It's this kind of spook, the haunted house. You're in Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool actually as an IP.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I think we're going to see more and more video games.
Well, now that Nintendo's in there, right? That's pretty cool. But yeah,
the Pokemon Company is just there's a subtle difference. We'll talk about that in a minute, but
okay.
I mean, I really like Winchester. I don't think it's going to be for everybody though, because it's like you play.
I wouldn't worry about it being for everybody. It's only 500 of the damn things.
I mean, that's the upside. You probably for at least for a year, you'll probably get your money back. So if you don't like it, but I kind of feel that Beetlejuice, anyone can play that. Winchester, there's a couple of tight shots, so you're going to have to get used to it. Again, I personally love games like that, so I really enjoyed it. And again, a shout out to the Barrels of Fun guys. Who's their boss? I forget his name. David, sorry, David Varese. David and I had a really good chat. We were talking about a lot of things. The guy's a machine. He was there day and night, and really, really, really welcoming. Actually, again, the spooky guys as well. They were really welcoming. I met a few more of them. I got a bunch of merch and a few other things from them, but really lovely people. And then Stern had Walking Dead there. Obviously, their big game at the moment. And a lot of people thought Pokemon would be there, but it wasn't, which is kind of annoying. The launch for Pokemon, or at least the media launch, was the following week. I got invited to it, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. So Beetlejuice great, Winchester great, Walking Dead great, all good titles. KGP were there with Harry Potter. I had a couple of games of that. I don't know. It's just
convinced to get one now.
Nah, it's just not. It just doesn't do it for me. I think it's this. The whole thing is kind of geared around this scoop, and I don't know. It just doesn't feel. It's not a game I just naturally want to go back to. I did have a good few games out in John though. It's a fucking awesome game. Really, really, really well done. And then there was a couple of other kind of weird games. They had this game, I forget it's called Rotate or something, where it was a table pinball machine, 4 players, 4 plungers, and the actual playfield rotated.
Weird.
Player 1 you'd play, lose the ball, it would rotate it to player 2 who would play. It was the most coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, the game wasn't great, unfortunately, but it was.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, keeping that thing running must be massive. But like you could just see it in the pub, sat around it and people playing it. I just think it would be massive. So yeah, so Pokemon, I ordered one. I've got an LE coming.
I would never buy a Pokemon. I'm not interested. Does nothing for me. Bought a Pokemon. Who would have thought Neil's bought another Stern LE, everyone? News.
I have to say, so look, Phil sold out of them. I
You're
actually
a chill, but look, I'm a Barrels. You can see it there. Look.
Okay, yeah, well done, mate.
Hiding in there.
Yeah, that's. I mean, David, send Scott a $5. He's giving you all that.
Yeah, exactly. All that publicity.
He deserves a $5 for that. David, where are our games? Scott and I demand our games.
Waiting patiently. I do harass our local David in the UK, saying, "Is there an update on when we're going to get Winchester?" But not yet. I've heard. Apparently they're turning through them, so who knows, right? Maybe we'll get it.
I am not convinced we will get our games by the end of March, though. That's the new.
No, it won't be March. I think April, personally.
But when I thought wasn't the promise that all the games would be done by March?
I think they messed up because David, as in Van Ness, made the assumption he could run 2 games on the line at once, and I think that proved a lot more difficult in reality. And they then had to finish up June, which obviously they stopped the orders in by the end of, December. And then they had to then run with the last few units of June, and now they're just full-time on Winchester. So I don't know how many games they're going through a week versus a month. I don't know, but like I imagine it'll be done within June or something.
Yeah, I've seen about 15 of them, I think, on the Facebook and Pinside.
Yeah, so you could run an extrapolation, right? There isn't that many to run through, so.
But I genuinely don't. I mean, I think this game's going to keep them busier till probably July.
Maybe,
or at least actually probably until. Actually, David did tell me that they probably wouldn't have a new game at TPF. It would be after that.
Really? Okay.
I expect this will keep them busy until then. Maybe a bit busier. I mean, one thing actually, and this is the thing I love about David. We're talking about June. I played it again in June. Definitely a great game. Getting better and better with all the code updates, and it had that back glass on it. It's just staggeringly nice. I think they realised that there's probably another way of doing what they did with June that would have been better for it. But he's such a nice bloke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, really nice guy. Yeah, so Pokemon, I couldn't make it out there. What's your take, Scott? Give us your Pokemon take.
So, for me, it was a no-brainer to do it as a brand. Pokemon, people don't, I think, maybe realize it in the pinball industry, but my God, the trading card world makes pinball look insignificant when it comes to spending money. Like, there's like Logan Paul selling trading cards for like 16 million for one card. I'm telling you now, I'm amazed that anybody actually got a pinball machine as an LE, because I would have thought all the trading card collectors would have scalped the hell out of it. I don't fully expect it to like lose value. I honestly think it will probably go up in value, even though I know people hate that. They don't like seeing it as an investment opportunity. I'm telling you now, though, when it comes to trading card games, they're just there to make money. It is a massive money-making scheme, Pokemon these days. I don't think it like it used to be when you were a kid. People used to just collect them as, trade them in the playground. Those days are dead. I mean, it's taken over by like millennials crowding over like vending machines, fighting to get the latest. I mean, you can see it. Just type in Costco Pokemon, and there's people literally punching each other to get the latest box of Pokemon cards. Like, to understand.
Everyone's got their. I kind of find it funny. Like on Pinside, there's a bunch of pinball people ripping the piss out of Pokemon people, and I'm like. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You know what I mean? It's like which is the weirder hobby?
Yeah, I'm focusing obviously truly on the value there, but I mean, for me at least, I feel like it will hold value at the very least. I think as a game, I was a little bit disappointed in the art package, only from a perspective, if you had it in a lineup, you'd only see the word Pokemon, regardless of the edition of the game, at the front. And I felt like that was a little misstep. Art package wise, I think it's very on form. They've obviously had to follow what the licensor dictated, so they probably didn't have much freedom anyway. But it looked great. I think it was nice. It was colourful, exactly as Pokemon should be. The assets look great. The sound seems okay. They had Meowth. I believe I've not followed anime for a long time, so I don't actually know if it was a new voice actor. I'm used to the kind of like early seasons of Pokemon when I was a kid, so it didn't sound like the Meowth I knew anyway. But the only thing I was griping about, if I'm honest with you, is that you didn't have Jesse and James from the Team Rocket.
Yeah, I think. I mean, a lot of people have made that same observation. I think it.
Yeah.
I think and also the players don't. The players don't seem to be there either, because you're the player, right?
You don't play Ash, yeah. But then again, that seems to be a tired old trope of any pinball machine with licensing. You don't play the character from the movie. You are the character. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I think they probably ran out of cash or
whatever. It doesn't bother me too much not playing Ash, if I'm honest with you. They still have your usual Pokemon in there, right? You got and the fact I don't know, and you maybe can firm this up for me or not, but I've heard you'll be able to trade Pokemon through Insider Connect. If that's true,
I mean, yeah. So I think there's a load of Insider Connected stuff to come out.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I mean, honestly, I think it's the perfect platform for pinball. It's going to bring lots of new people in. You'll have people coming up, logging in online. Man, if I was an operator, I would love this. That is a cash cow. It is going to be absolutely hammered on location, that game. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to one of the distributors actually when we were on the boat. Actually, a shout out to Troy at Tilt Amusements. Really, really great guy. He was on the boat with us. He was a bit narked because Stern announced it whilst he was on this boat, and his phone went on fire.
I bet.
And he's like, Jesus Christ, and he's like they did the pre thing, the little teaser that they release, and he was trying to cope with it because I don't think he knew it was coming out that day specifically. He was saying I'll have 100 of these in locations in about a week. Holy shit.
I mean, it's a king title. I think I'm really glad Stern somehow managed to convince them to get that IP. I mean, that's a hard IP to get, I imagine. It's huge.
It's interesting, though, because in terms of collabs like that, Fortnite are doing a Pokemon collab this year as well.
It's different with Fortnite, though. Fortnite is huge. I mean, it's had
it's massive. Don't get me wrong. I agree.
Every different league in Fortnite.
It's a different league, but I just thought it was kind of funny that they were both literally on my Facebook. I had Stern Pokemon, and I had Fortnite Pokemon. I was like, holy shit! I have to say, back in the day, I got a couple of Pokemon games, and I thought they were absolute pants. They were.
I played a fair amount of Pokemon when I was a kid on the Game Boy. I had it on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. So Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, God knows how many others of ones I did. Ruby Edition. But for me, back on the game, a little bit disappointed. It was kind of if I'm honest with you, by the numbers layout. You talk about fan layouts. That's a fan layout if I ever saw one. I
mean, Stern were pretty open about it. Look, we've made this game easy and approachable,
which is fine. I think
exactly.
They're trying to bring in new audiences, and this is the perfect mechanism for that for me. So I'm just too much for that.
I am so unconvinced about. We get one big title, and all of a sudden, we double the population of pinball.
No, you won't. You'll just get operators happy because they'll be making more buck at the location. I think.
I mean, I definitely think. I mean, there are titles where I think. You could move the dial, like Dungeons and Dragons. Stern went to a few Dungeons and Dragons events, and they definitely shipped a load of. They definitely shipped a load of games because of that. And actually, there was one thing they were at, and before they opened the doors, and this I don't know what the venue was, but the place was rammed, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I mean, I know it's a big. I know it's a big thing, But when you see it at a convention like that, where there's like literally, it looked like there was like, I don't know, 20,000 people there, and I was like, holy shit, probably more than that. Yeah, I mean, Pokemon, for me, I know nothing about Pokemon other than Bulbasaur. I don't know, and I don't know why I know how him.
Pikachu, surely, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Pikachu. Everyone knows Pikachu, but Bulbasaur is the only non-Pikachu that I know, or whatever they're called. So I'm kind of intrepidly going to play this game from the point that I hope it's a good pinball game.
I think it's got the huge potential for replayability.
Also, the reason that I bought it though, everyone's like, you just fine. I was out on this game, right? Let me tell you, right? I was out on this game. Phil had sold all the LEs. EC had no more LEs; they're all gone. And then the price fiasco happened, which we'll come to next. And the Pokemon trailer came out, and I had it on my laptop, and my grandson Theo comes over, and I'm watching this. He's like, "Granddad, what's that?" I was like, "It's Pokemon Pinball." He's like, "What?" He's like, and I turn the volume up, but he's watching. He's like, "Ah."
I bet.
And he said, "Granddad, are you getting Pokemon Pinball?" I said, "I don't think so, Theo." He's like, "Why not?" I was like, "I'm not a big Pokemon guy." He's like, "But I love Pikachu." I pinged Phil and said, "Have you got any more games?" He's like, "Nah, they're all sold out." I was like, "What?" I kind of left it at that. I was like, "Sorry, Phil, they've sold out." And then during this pricing thing, I was talking to one of my many friends at Stern, and they asked me, "Neil, did you get a game?" I was like, "Nah, they'd sold out of LEs." Like, "Do you want one?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And he said, we'll get another one to Electrocoin, and then it's
That's
arrived.
really lucky, I must admit, man. Because
I should thank you to Stern for that. I feel blessed and special.
I mean, it's good.
I'll probably sell it almost a week after I get it, but
Nah, you don't. Your grandson won't let you.
I'm hoping to get to play it this week over here.
I think it will be a fun, simple shooter. I think it's going to have a lot of replayability. I like the mechanism in the center, which is the Meowth sort of air balloon ship thing. I think it looks incredibly smooth. Like, I like what they've done with it, but I felt, for me, the only downside is I feel like because it was the half Gomez, half Jack Danger thing, I just got the feeling like the game could have been more, and it was kind of cut back and made simpler because they were like, we don't want to make complex ball paths and next. We just want to create a game that's accessible.
Yeah, I mean, I keep hearing that, but I mean, what I heard was at Pinball at the Beach, I think it was Jack that said it, or was it George? They said that the game was like 80 or 90% Jack. So I don't think they changed an awful lot.
Well, that's good in that way, right? But yeah, disappointing in the fact
I don't think you're going to have crazy ball paths on a game that you want to be open to others to play, right? So
I'll tell you my biggest gripe. I forgot this pun. The ball does not eat the ball.
It does actually. It goes underneath the scoop.
In a way, yeah, it cheats if you've got the premium or LE. Yeah, then the diver lifts up.
If you've shelled out like half your life savings, you get the ball eating the ball. I mean, I looked at it when I looked at the trailers and a few videos of people playing it, and then a few people that were at the launch event, which I was invited to, but I couldn't make because of work. Basically, I was pinging a few people, Retro Ralph, Tom Graff, Vic, and others that were there. Mel, and they were all saying this game's fun, really fun. So I was kind of like, and then I think Theo saying that he was disappointed I wasn't getting it.
Yeah,
kind of made me get it anyway. Thank you to Stern, EC, and Phil.
Given the new price adjustments, which I know we're going to very shortly, I would have been tempted to get one. I'm not going to lie, because it's not something I just think I need to try it first, and I would wait.
Yeah, I mean, that was what I was going to do. I was going to wait, play it, and if it was a good game, I'd pick up a premium. Whenever I'm not convinced about a theme, I'll wait and see.
Because for a fact, as well as I do, right? Stern in the UK was kind of like, why buy a game that should be cheaper for more money when I can get a boutique game that's got more packed in it for the same cash? It's like, it's just from a value proposition. It just didn't feel like the right choice anymore. But yeah.
Well, I think, and potentially, resale, which, I mean, Evil Dead, is the resale prices for that are nuts. I've got 2 of them as well. But I don't think, and I'm trying to get a Beetlejuice again. If you've got one, I'm not. By the way, I'm not paying. I'm paying
Don't
list.
tempt me. I can sell you my one.
I'm paying list. I'm not paying anything other than list.
No, you're paying double, mate.
I'm not. Well, I won't buy it, man, because
No,
I
I'm
don't.
winding you up.
Let me tell you, this game is not worth a premium. Beetlejuice is not worth a premium. If you've paid a premium for it, you will regret it. I promise you that. It's a fun game. It's a good game. It is not a premium title in my view. Absolutely not. Just want to let's move on to the pricing fun.
Yes.
Given it, we're at 1 hour 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to get hassled from my wife soon.
It's close to death time. I need to eat something.
Yeah.
So, Luke, I have been talking to Stern, I don't know, for 2 or 3 years, more than that actually, to say you've got pricing badly wrong in the UK. And and many of you have heard me. I'm going to buy a game from the US. I'm going to see how much it costs. I'm going to compare it, blah, 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 blah. And I did all that. Did all the work for that. Importing Star Wars, again, helped me clarify that for LEs. But if you go to the club, you'll see a few games there that I've imported from the US. You can tell by the coin door at the front, right? So I've got a pretty good understanding of prices and, shipping costs, and not shipping on a boat. I fly it in, right? Air freight. So I've been making this, I've been saying blah, blah, blah. And I said it to Gary, to Seth, to John, to the new guys. They got a new chief revenue guy. I forget his name, but a sensible guy. And, I think Stern's been looking at, in the US, everyone's like, oh, the market. In the US, I think the market's pretty decent right now. I don't see what we're seeing here in terms of, there's used prices being gone down a little bit. I think that's a supply issue rather than a market issue. They started to pick up a little bit as well. But I definitely think we had an oversupply for a while. I think that's becoming less of an issue. Helped by big titles like Harry Potter. That's just they're going to be making that until until the guy who played Harry Potter is 100, I think, which is good news for them. But every time I saw Stern and a few other Brits that got a TPF, etc., they banged this drum as well. But I put together a few bits and pieces on paper and said, guys, explain this to me. And at some point, Stern, they announced this at DPO, but I'd got wind of it before. They told me, like, we're going to put a bit more focus into Europe. We'd love to have a chat. So I had about a couple of conference calls. I gave them my position on what I thought where the market was, some of the issues, some of the opportunities. And I also said, in the US, it's very much barcade focused. Here in Europe, it's probably more club focused. And I said, you need to figure out how you adapt to that. And these clubs aren't rich clubs. They're like, they're not for profit, and most of the games probably are borrowed rather than owned. Really good chat with John, Seth, and actually Gary as well. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do something. We're going to do something. And then DPO, if you're at DPO, Jack and Gary said it at their talk, that we're moving John over to focus on Europe, and we're going to start trying to help build the UK base. And then I want to say, I can't remember when it was, but it must be about a week before, maybe longer than a week before the trailer, the teaser came out for Pokemon, and it was like, what I heard was, there's going to be a European RRP. And I was like, oh, really? That's cool. Hoping that it would be lower. And then, there was a things happening, and then the game got released and the pricing came out, and I said to Phil, what's the price on the game? And he's like, oh, the price has gone up. I was like, what? I was like, Stern told me it should be coming down.
Yeah.
He said, because they're putting an RRP on. He's like, well, Electricon have told me it's going to be more. And I'm like, wow. So, I kind of pinged them and said, I don't know, maybe maybe it'd help us if you put a UK price on as well as a European one. And to be fair, so I suggested that.
Especially when the dollar rate's been weaker recently as well, right?
I suggested that. They might have. So, actually, because I'm a dick, I'm going to take credit for it. It's all because of fucking me. I don't know if they were planning on doing that. I don't think so. I think there was going to be a euro price, and then they added a GBP price, right? And a few conversations. If anyone wants to, if anyone disbelieves me, I've got a few things I could show you, because there are people who just think we make shit up. But yes, so I've literally been banging on this drum. I was chatting to Phil and David, and I had a chat with John from Electricon. He called me to ask me, what was going on, and I think all of those guys, we're always, I look at the thread for Pokemon. It's literally like, who can we set fire to for the pricing? Is it Stern? Is it this guy? Is it that? It's like there's like pitches and there's torches and pitchforks. We will find this evil person, right? And anyway, we've got to a place where prices are what, $2,000, $3,000 better now, right?
Massive difference.
Massive. I have to say, if you'd asked me that,
market back into life.
If you'd asked me that 6 months ago, I would say no chance, right? But I think Stern have listened, they've analysed, and they've acted. A lot lots of people give Stern a load of shit.
The only thing I'm concerned about, right, is the knock-on effect to the second-hand market. So anybody who bought a game that was, still in production now, and then goes to sell it, that you're instantly 2 to 3K worse off. I get the fact.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to sell games before Pokemon at the new pricing. I think this is only going to apply to new games.
I hate to be that person, because I'm not sure if I can say it or not, but I've already been told it can be done, and it is being done.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
a game in production, it's basically on the new price.
So so new games. Yeah, but look, we've had this both ways, right? So I think I get it, right?
Yeah,
so
it had happened, right? So
if they built a new batch of Kongs, there's a chance they could be the new pricing. I'll remind everybody though, right? That there's a bunch of people who bought Stranger Things at $6,000, and then they made a new batch at $8,000. And then all those fuckers put their price up when they were selling them by $2,000 and claimed that
those effers.
I mean, oh yeah, I'm in the community, but I'm going to fuck you for $2,000. Really? I don't know. Maybe I'm too charitable, Scott, but that to me feels a bit of a laugh, really. Maybe they've lost money on other games. I don't know, but I that doesn't feel community minded. And anyway,
back on the pricing, right, though, it is a genuine shocker that we've now got games at $2,000 to $3,000 cheaper. It does put Stern back in the, I would say, forefront to say this is a choice now. It's a really good, viable choice. There's value for money in that game now. It's a definite positive thing. I felt like, Stern Weather is in a death spiral, because I don't know what the sales were like for Sterns in the UK, but I can't imagine they were as good as they were.
They were definitely down. You can see that, no question about it. I think at least
I'm grateful you've done it.
I'm grateful I've done it too. I mean, it's good. So look, I definitely Stern make their own choices. I kind of gave them data and informed them.
Yeah. Look, I'm glad they did it. I'm glad. I know
whether that was relevant or not, I don't know. But I was in the middle of the discussion with them. I think they've done a great thing. I think they've made pricing much more transparent. But I think we've got a long journey ahead. Trump's all over with tariffs again, and the price of the dollar versus the pound's going to move. So, look, enjoy it while it lasts is my kind of message.
Go get your Pokemons.
Yeah, go order a Pokemon. But
I'm gonna have to go, man, because my son.
But look, anyway, so thanks, Scott. It's been good to catch up. We had a lot to talk about. We'll probably do a pre-TPF one, hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time, or maybe a post-TPF one. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. But apologies that we were late in getting this out. That's life, and I'll leave you with one glorious message. In this world, my friend, there are two types of people. People with loaded guns and people who dig. You dig?
Okay. Is that Dirty Harry comment, or was it? I don't know who that is.
I don't think I got it right, but it's from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, fair enough.
Glorious quote. So go dig your pinball, have fun, enjoy it. And when you don't play so well, don't stress about it. There are people fighting a war in Ukraine. Context for you folks. Scott, a pleasure as always. Give my love to everybody, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.